Okay.
Danny, did you hit record?
Tuesday. We're live here to talk about Subway. Got a lot some Halloween costumes to talk about as well.
We sure do.
Yeah. Anything you want to say before we start the show?
No, let's get into it.
Okay. All right, here we go. And hey, everybody, what's going on? I'm Rob Cesternino, back again to talk with you about the week's most interesting news stories for the week of October 6th, 2020, here on News AF.
If a story is buzzing like it's on crystal meth, it's about to be News AF. If the same old news makes you bored to death, it's time for some News AF. Actual, factual news.
Yeah, that's right. We're back here. It's October, ready to talk about a bunch of holiday stories here in the world. I mean, a couple of Halloween-related stories later on. I'm going to talk about Subway sandwiches and much more. But here is a man. I want to hear about this shirt that he's wearing here today. It's the great Tyson Apostle. Tyson, how are you?
Doing great, dude. You want to hear about this shirt, huh?
Yeah, what's going on?
Well, I wore this shirt. I like flashy garments. You may already know that about me. And I bought this shirt because it's pretty baller. And I wore it yesterday to the Butterfly Wonderland, hoping that a butterfly would land on me because you see the flowers and stuff. You know, that's because you're not supposed to touch the flower. You're not supposed to touch the butterflies, but you can bring them to me. If they touch you, that's fine. You can't touch them. And
like a stripper.
Yeah, exactly. and it didn't work. I didn't have a single butterfly land on me. But then I just went to bed in the shirt and then woke up in the shirt and then recorded this podcast in the shirt.
So, I love how you strategized your visit to the butterfly. Like you thought about this, you bought the shirt. Nature with Tyson. We're both
Nature with Tyson. And we're both wearing our dope hats. Also, spent the morning running around like chickens with our heads cut off, cleaning the house because the cleaners are coming. So
you have to clean before anybody can come clean.
Yeah,
I get that.
There's two real true tests of mine and Rachel's relationship, and one of them is that I think she really loves to just be like, Tyson, pick that thing up. Now you got to pick that thing up, and I'm just like, the cleaners. That's what. Like, why am I paying them to like? If we already cleaned the whole thing.
No, you don't want to be embarrassed. Too much of a mess.
I don't care about that. And then the other true test of our relationship is on our way to the airport from a trip, because you gather everything, you get everybody, you try to get everybody in the car on time, and then you get in the car and you're going to the airport, and then this always happens. Can you stop at the post office real quick? I just got a bunch of stuff I got to drop off. And I'm like, what? I did not factor that into the time. Why didn't you do that at a different time? Well, it's just quick. Okay. Then we got to go to Parlery Barn. I got to make a return real quick on our way out. Well, what are we doing? It's like, I didn't know it was a whole day of errands before we drive to the airport.
Look, she's focused on efficiency. That's what she's all about. She's like, dude, don't want to.
We're already out. Yeah. Yeah, well, that's much different than my trips to the airport, where it's just my wife is screaming the entire time that we're going to miss the flight. We're going to miss the flight.
So would you rather that or just have a bunch of surprise errands sprung on you? That will probably make you miss the flight.
I'd rather have the surprise errands. I really, because I feel like that I have all this pressure on me because I usually have like stuff going up until last minute of like, I got to get this podcast out. I got to take care of this before we go. And my wife has nothing to do except just like look at the clock and wait to go to the airport all day. And then finally, she just screams at me. The kids are crying like, Mom said we're going to miss the flight. Dad, is that true? Like, no, we're not going to miss the flight. Yes, we are. We are.
Yeah,
it's very upsetting.
Jeez,
luckily we don't have to go anywhere anymore.
Yeah, are you getting stressed out too?
I'm getting stressed out by this. I go so early. That's the argument: is why are we going so early?
All right. Well, here's Mr. Early Airport, Danny Bryson. Is that by your choice?
Oh yeah, I go ridiculously early.
With kids, you have to go early.
Well, yeah, I've always gone early my whole life, even when I was single.
What do you do there? That's
Wow.
the worst.
Just
That's a real
just sit
dad
there.
move. You were set for dadhood.
I
Because my
think-
dad's like 3 hours early.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I do.
You
Yeah.
get to the airport and you sit at the gate and it's like, all right, now what do we do for 2 hours?
No.
Okay, let me tell you,
have
I
lounge
cannot
access. Come on, Rob.
I don't have
I
lounge
cannot
access.
relax until I sit at the gate and see the gate. Like up until that moment, from the minute I wake up until I see the gate,
Not
I
even
am
me.
in a state
It's-
of great
The
anxiety.
gate is what calms you down. I'm not calm until I sit on the airplane.
On the plane.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
Okay. No, it's not
I'm
sitting on the airplane.
wired Until,
It's getting your stuff in the overhead bin. That's another point of like, now I can relax
That's
because I
true.
found space for my crap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is true. Yeah. But like you are definitely like, I'm high strung and high tension, and
Nobody
anything
talk to me.
anything that deviates from getting my entire family onto the plane and enough space for our shit.
I will
And
smash.
that's the point where I can finally let go.
Yeah, that's another one. But my first check, like, okay, I can check that off. I am at the gate.
Yeah.
Boom. 50%
Boom.
relieved.
But when I'm by myself, I don't stress as much because I know my
Yeah.
timing more. So like
Well,
if
you
I
have
travel
less
by
crap
myself,
too.
yeah. If I travel by myself, I get there an hour before. But if I go with the family, like I am constantly like, we got to get there early. We got to get there early. And then we sometimes get there still at around the same time as I do by myself, because I've got carrying both kids, bunch of luggage, dropping toys along the way. And man, traveling sucks, dude. The only great part about traveling is getting to your destination. But then, you know what sucks even worse than traveling to your destination is traveling back home from your destination.
Mm-hmm.
That's the worst.
Yeah.
Wow.
I feel like I'm Danny today.
Yeah, that's for dark cloud. I thought Arizona was sunny every single day.
It is. It's too sunny. What I wouldn't give to just
To get
see
on
a
a plane and get out of
rain
here.
cloud,
Stupid
rain cloud
sun.
for yeah.
Mhm.
Dude, yeah. So you're wishing for rain, although not all at once.
I
That's
could
bad.
do like a week of constant rain. That would feel so
Yeah,
good.
gentle, like the little
Mhm.
drumming on your window,
Mhm.
calms Tyson down. He's
Yeah.
got a hot chocolate in his hands,
Yeah.
tucked into bed,
Loving
Netflix and chill. Yeah. That sounds
Yeah.
like exactly what you need. The sun has made you go mad. You're
Yeah.
sun crazy.
It really has, dude. I didn't even know that was a thing. Like I'll go out in the morning, and the second the sun peeks up over the hill behind my house, it's like I'm like a vampire in the
Yeah,
summer.
they have
Yeah.
seasonal
You can
affect
feel
disorder.
it burning.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
have the
sads.
opposite. You have
Yeah.
like sun, mad. I wish we could come up with this mad. Like you've been
It's-
driven mad by the sun, like a man in the desert.
Can't you just
Anyway,
call it sads as well? Seasonal
No, affect. I'm gonna come up with something better. I'll text you later.
sun affect disorder. So you can still
No,
be sads,
I don't
but
like it.
you want it to be mad.
Yes.
Okay. So anyways, yeah, I can feel my skin burning the second the sun touches it now. And it's like
Mhm.
around like July, you're just like, sun doesn't feel good on my skin ever anymore.
Yeah.
The gentle kissing of the sun.
Nope.
That becomes like a
don't care
leech.
for it. Yeah. It's like
Are you ready to join the people that live underneath the surface of the earth, Tyson?
100%.
Oh yeah, center of the
Yeah,
earth people.
That's how they got
In
started.
Australia.
By the way, they're
Yeah.
all Nazis. You don't want to live there.
No,
Oh,
we're
they
not talking
are?
about those people.
Yeah, according to the theory, the center of the earth people.
Not the
Uh,
center of the earth people. There's a real life colonies of people living underground.
No,
Yeah.
I didn't know about
like
that.
how far underground?
Just slightly underground. They build
Yeah.
all their houses underground.
Hmm.
I don't know. You got to send me some information about this.
Arizona, look
I
it
find
up,
that
dude.
Fascinating.
Guys trip.
Yeah, Guys Trip 2020. Go to
Guys
the
Trip,
underground people
It's
living in
because
abandoned mine shafts.
where they're living is so hot that they dig and live in
Mhm.
dugout tunnels and stuff. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
true. You guys don't
Okay.
believe me, and I remember seeing it on like National Geographic or something.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
mole people live says.
Yeah, mole people.
Uh huh.
All right. Well, let's talk about. We have a lot of news to get to today, and let's start with a big story from this past week that people really wanted us to weigh in on. Danny, I know that you are a Del Taco man. Are you a Subway sandwich guy?
Yeah, I've been to Subway with Danny.
I will go to Subway quite often.
I've been to Subway with Danny
because there's a Subway on my way to work, and so I'll grab a sandwich, eat half of it then, and while I'm working, eat the other half. So it does work out well.
Yes. Okay.
That sounds pretty cool. Also, on a different note, nobody is talking about Rob's mustache today.
Yeah. What about it?
I didn't even notice.
Look how cool it is.
Well,
it's like handlebars down just perfectly.
Yeah. Looks like he's trying to grow a beard, but it's like he's got two, peninsulas off the side of his mouth that just aren't connecting to the mainland.
It looks great.
What do you think?
It's an unintentional mustache.
I love it.
Yeah. Okay.
Makes you look tough.
Yeah.
See?
Trying to.
Okay, so back to Subway. So Danny loves Subway and he loves its bread. Go on.
Now it's Rob's turn to tell us why we should love it even more.
Well,
or why I might love it.
Depends. You might love Subway more or love Subway less when you find out that a court in Ireland, that there was this went to the highest court of Ireland is Subway bread considered bread? And what the highest court in Ireland said that the sugar to flour content is 5 times too high to qualify as bread. Subway bread is cake.
That's why I like it.
So we're dealing with all this horse shit over here in the US, and Ireland's most pressing matter is to determine whether or not Subway uses bread or cake.
Yeah. The best part is they already had a definition for bread. Like somewhere, some panel had decided that the cutoff for bread was this ratio.
Yeah.
Right.
It has to do with taxes. That if you wanted to be taxed 0%, that the weight of sugar and fat in a bread must not be more than 2% of the total weight of flour in the dough. And the Subway bread exceeded that, and so they said, "That's cake. You don't get to be tax-free."
Let them eat cake.
Let them eat cake with their ham and
salami and provolone.
What's your go-to Subway sandwich, Danny?
Well, it sounds like I get 2 slices of cake, and in between that,
a 12-inch cake or a 6-inch?
I get a 12-inch cake sliced in half, and then I get the spicy Italian.
Yeah, I get the spicy Italian too, but I have not been to Subway in years. I had one of their club cards because when I used to work at my dad's office, we would go to Subway quite a bit and amass these club points. I had like the equivalent of like a 12-foot sandwich on the club card points, and then they switched from points to a different system, canceled the cards, but you had a window to transfer your points to your thing. But I obviously didn't do that. Wasted all these points. Not pants, points.
Yeah, they have different types
Jared
of bread.
Used to hold up his pants. Yeah.
Rob, they have different types of bread. Does that apply to all of them?
Yes, it actually does. There are 6 types of bread at Subway. That is white, Italian herb and cheese, 9-grain wheat, hearty Italian, a 9-grain multi-seed, and honey oat, all cake.
Delicious.
Cake.
Also, they were the ones that had the same chemicals as yoga mats in their ingredients in the past and had to change that. So Subway,
are yoga mats cake?
That is something that the Irish courts will have to determine.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it sounds like they've got time in their hands to decide.
They're not dealing
every
with
object
anything
that
more
is or
pressing.
is not cake.
Yeah. Although that they say that a 6-inch white bread roll, Danny, how many grams of sugar in a 6-inch white bread roll of cake from Subway?
Is it actually 6-inch or is it 5.5 inches?
Because that was another. Yeah, that's right. That's another.
Everybody rounds up, Tyson.
That is true. Even a 2x4 isn't a true 2x4.
I know. I was shocked to discover that.
I was too. My dad was like, "Go get a 2x4 for the thing." And I was like 16, and I showed back up. I was like, "There is not a single 2x4 at all of Home Depot." All I could find was an 1.75 inch. It was a 1.75 inch by 3 3/4 inch board.
So
like,
Rob,
that's the 2x4.
Yes.
Rob, 15 grams. I really don't know.
15 grams. There's only 5 grams. But they say that's the same as an Oreo cookie.
So I should be making, you know what? I would have no problem going to Subway when I go there next, probably within the next week, and say, I'd like the white cake. Just, to see if they'll acknowledge that.
They won't even know, dude. You think this, whoever's working behind the desk
Subway
is following the Irish
is aware
news.
of Irish Supreme Court decision.
You just gave away your location. Now, listeners, if you guys go hang out at the Subway in Heber City, Utah.
Yeah. There might be 2, though. I did read a while ago that there are more Subways than McDonald's.
Oh, they're everywhere.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
They're everywhere. There's
because
one
you can put them in your
Midway.
living room. You're
People
like,
love
oh,
cake.
I'd love to put a cake sandwich shop in my living room. And Subway's like, oh, that sounds like a good franchise location.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But most of them are owned by huge corporations. Like they're not like a solo franchise owner. They're like, yes, we are Subway Corp, in no way related to actual Subway sandwich, but we do own 700 Subways across.
And the recipe to all their cake breads, which is the secret ingredient.
It is the secret. We own 700 Subway franchises across Salt Lake.
Which is weird because I'm eating cheese herb cake, which I never thought I would like.
But it's
and it turns out I love cake. I thought I was a pie guy, but it turns out I'm actually a cake
I'm a
man.
cake guy for sure.
Yeah,
You're a
I
pie
like
guy?
pie. That cake could be
Cream
too
pies
dry.
or cream pies?
Obviously, I love cake now.
Okay, but
Like
before,
I'm all in.
before what was your
now.
go-to? Like, let's say you went to like Village Inn or something like that and had to get a pie, but you could choose any pie you wanted.
I'm gonna get apple pie.
Rob?
What's the best pie?
What pie or cake? You can choose a pie.
Yeah, I'll
or
go with
cake.
a pie.
Yes,
Shit.
thank you. We're pie
Yeah.
people.
Really?
The pie people live in their caves and eat their cake bread sandwiches.
This is like one of those lines where like I'm looking at you guys and I'm like, they
Totally
just don't
different.
know. They can't.
Yeah.
They,
What don't we
they're
know?
wrong.
We're
You're
old enough to
wrong.
have sampled enough cake to figure
Cake's
out if we like it or
delicious.
not.
Yeah, but like a German chocolate cake with
It can be
Just-
good. I'm not saying it's the worst.
You know what
I'm just saying-
the only cake that I really like is like a flourless chocolate cake. Like it has to be like super rich.
Really
like
dense and
most
rich?
cakes,
Hmm.
yeah. They don't do anything
Wow.
for me. I'd rather, have a Subway sandwich.
Seriously, I kind of feel like a Subway sandwich right now. Just talking.
Dude,
about it.
so do I. I haven't
Okay.
had
Even
one
that
for
good.
so
Well,
long.
we're talking about it. It's like, oh, it's cake. It's delicious. That sounds
It
so
is
good.
delicious, dude. It's
But-
triggered all of the
Yes.
sensories in
my mouth is. There's a lot of saliva in my
salivating.
mouth
Yeah,
right now.
dude. Yeah.
Okay. So Subway,
Mhm.
that their whole marketing campaign is eat fresh, lose weight, it's healthy. Does Subway need to pivot of, hey, how about cake for lunch?
Let's party down. Well,
Let's party.
the
Yeah.
equivalent of an Oreo as your entire bread of the sandwich is not.
Mhm.
It's whatever.
How
you know?
about this? An advertisement says, let them eat cake, and then a 12-inch sub gets cut in half by a guillotine and wrapped by a happy Subway employee. I think that'd be perfect.
Or how about this? It's a TV advertisement, heavily CGI'd, and it's the most
Heavily.
immaculate, delicious looking cake you've ever seen. And then it morphs into a Subway sandwich. And Jared pops out of the slammer,
No,
takes a bite,
no,
and then
he's not
somebody
selling
hits him in the
sandwiches.
face
with the sandwich.
with the sandwich.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You know what? I think I'm going to eat a Subway sandwich here
Today?
next week. Not today because I'm not headed up to work. And I'm going to just imagine I'm closing my eyes, going to put that spicy Italian in my mouth.
Mhm.
Yeah.
you are.
I'm going to try imagine that I'm eating cake. And
Mhm.
if my brain can't turn that bread into cake, well, then according to the Supreme Court of Danny, it's bread.
Mhm.
Because it's got to taste like cake. You can't call things cake. It's got to taste like it. So I'm going to
Is
close
it
my
bread
mind.
flavored cake?
I'm gonna close. I mean, I'm gonna try. Maybe I'll just order a thing of bread and try to eat it with my eyes closed, and maybe do a blind taste test. Have some other cakes in there, and mix them all up in a bag, like
and do a
black garbage
coconut cream
bag.
pie or something.
Yeah,
too, as
and
a
then just
surprise.
pretend and try and pick out which one's the bread. I bet you I could get it. I bet you I would be able to discern between the cakes, the actual cakes,
Mhm.
and the Irish defined cake.
Yeah. Because that's the thing too, is like you're talking about Ireland, and these places are not necessarily world renowned for their cuisine. I don't want to get on anybody's bad side here.
You're saying let the French decide.
I'm saying let the pastry people decide. Yeah, the French.
Yeah, the French.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
Who
the
knew
Germans.
that Ireland was really the ultimate decider on healthy eating?
Well, and that's what Tyson's saying.
Right.
Let's move this to the court of opinion in France
Mhm.
and let the people who are really good with pastries tell us
Yes.
whether or not it's cake.
Oh, and you know what? Now I want a French pastry, dude. A chocolate croissant.
Oh yeah, with it's chocolate still melty in there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That does
Oh,
sound good.
damn, dude.
Well, maybe this Halloween, I don't know how much trick or treating is going to be done, but maybe you should have a couple of loaves of Subway bread ready to go. Maybe
Good idea.
bread slices for the trick or treaters.
That's not a bad idea. Maybe I'll go to Subway, just get a couple loaves of a smattering of flavors.
Just buy a party sub and then just peel the bread off in little chunks for.
So it's kind of soggy.
Mhm.
Why not?
Okay.
Interesting. Yeah.
All right. Speaking of Halloween, we have always followed the hot Halloween costumes of each year that we've done News AF, and this year is no exception. That, of course, the topical costumes are always a big deal every year.
Tiger
And
King. What do we got? Some
No,
Tiger King?
well, I was going to say that on Yandy.com, this year's hottest Halloween costume, of course.
Wait, can we guess?
You'll never guess, Tyson.
We
You'll
won't.
You won't. I already saw the headline.
Is it something to do with a TV show this year?
No.
Is it something to do with the trend this year?
It
has nothing to do with America's
topical.
Nightmare.
Topical.
Oh, COVID?
No, worse.
No, it's not COVID.
Presidential debate? Presidential candidates?
You're getting warmer. Yandy.com has the sexy mail-in ballot for your Halloween costume this year.
I don't mind it.
$29.95 for
and this
the
is
sexy...
the hottest one. This is going to be
No,
the
Tyson,
hottest
they do
costume.
have Tiger King, but by the way, it doesn't look anything like it's just leopard print.
Yeah.
Like so.
Here, well, let's talk about the sexy mail-in ballot, then we can talk about some of the other costumes for 2020.
Okay.
Sexy mail-in ballot. Aren't you looking foxy in first class? Is your heart pounding? You're about to hear the final count. It must feel good to know you're the key to the election, babe. Regardless of who wins the vote, you're always a priority in this exclusive mail-in ballot costume featuring a white pull-on tube dress with postal detailing 2 I voted bust stickers, official ballot enclosed, first class mail printed with a red stripe, a sexy headquarters address, and a black barcode. No postage necessary.
Oh, okay. I see. I see
Yes.
the resemblance here. Yeah.
Yes, you see the resemblance to the mail-in ballot.
The actual ballot. Yeah.
You like it now?
No, that's stupid.
Hey,
Okay.
Danny, wear one of these and see if a government official tries to get you discounted.
What would I look like in this? Trying to close my eyes and imagine.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Definitely not sexy.
Your meaty thighs would be just popping, dude.
I just don't see myself wearing this and being sexy. So this costume does not apply to me.
Okay. Well, how about this, Danny? If not the sexy mail-in ballot, what about the sexy postal worker? Our postal service is under the microscope like never before.
I think they've been under the microscope in the past.
Yes, the postal service.
Yeah, I remember when they sponsored Lance Armstrong's team.
Do you remember?
There was no reason for that. When there was no reason for them to dump any money into any professional sports at all because they're a government program. Yeah.
Do you remember when my entire adult life was spent collecting garbage from my mailbox that the postal service puts in there so I can throw it into my actual garbage?
That's what I do with my adult life.
That's what they do. They move garbage around.
Dude, it is crazy how much garbage. It's like, I understand they got to make their money, but Man,
That's not
it is
a
a
good-
lot of
that's
junk
not-
mail.
Yeah, that's all they do. It's like they're one step removed from the garbage man, and instead of taking it away, they just bring it to my house and jam it in my mailbox.
Yeah, this
Okay.
may be an unpopular opinion, but I think take away the postal service. We have all these private carriers doing
No,
it better.
we need the postal service, Tyson.
Why don't we
Well,
put
we-
that funding somewhere else in
Well,
education?
the problem is
or-
we wouldn't have half the sexy costumes this year if
Yeah.
it wasn't for the postal service.
There's a lot of
Tyson.
places that can't get a delivery from other private carriers that only the postal service
eventually-
gets to.
Yeah,
Drone-
only because that they
People
have
rely on the postal service.
That's wrong.
Who?
I don't think that's right. Who relies
Who?
on the postal service? Give
Old
us an
people?
example.
A
That
ton of
generation's
people.
dying.
Like who?
You want their names?
I want an
Yeah,
Millions
example.
of
Like,
people
more
rely on the
example.
postal service.
Like, why can't FedEx or UPS or On Track or somebody get there in 2 days every single time?
Because those are businesses.
Yes,
Yeah. And this is a service.
that
You
costs
pay
money.
taxes. Yeah,
Not
you
a good
get-
service.
Yeah.
Is there any other service out there?
It still
where
costs
they do
money.
some-
Yes.
Yeah, it costs money, and the service. I don't want their service. That's the thing is, the service is being forced upon me. I'm not kidding when I say my mailbox is filled with garbage that the
Put
postal.
a brick in your mailbox then.
Well, isn't that some kind of federal offense?
I don't think so.
And then what?
That
He's going to
probably
take.
is.
The problem is he's going to take that brick, think I'm mailing it, and probably deliver it to
He
somebody
can't
else.
put a brick in his own mailbox.
No, dude,
look,
the
that doesn't
mailbox
sound
is
like-
not your property. That is federal property.
Yeah,
The mailbox on your house is federal property.
probably
Correct.
inside of it.
Are you sure
Correct.
about that?
Yes,
I'm not.
the
I'm not-
actual
I'll go
mailbox is the federal property,
Yeah.
and you tampering with it is a federal offense.
Look, guys, we could have people smarter than us have discussed this and not resolved anything. So let's just go on to the sexy costumes, which is more our pay grade.
All right. Well, that Tyson's guess of sexy coronavirus was a decent guess, but Yandy.com has said they will not be doing any coronavirus sexy costumes for 2020.
If they don't, somebody else will.
So the ballot is okay.
Yeah,
but
balance.
the-
Okay.
The virus not okay.
Yeah.
People aren't dying from aren't directly dying from ballot issues that we know of. That we know of.
Yeah.
I did see one of the
hottest
hottest costumes out there that I read a week or two ago was a really terrifying one. It was a Karen costume,
Mhm.
Oh,
and it was scary.
yeah. I can
It
see
was
that.
a terrifying
Yeah,
costume.
it was
Not
like, I
sexy
saw
at
that
all.
too. It was like a scary Karen.
Mask,
Yeah.
but
Was it the one with her holding her gun like this?
No, it
with
was just
her,
a
like-
mask. It was just a mask.
Mm-hmm.
You decide what Karen's doing once
Okay.
you put on the mask. You get
Yeah.
to decide that. But Tyson, they do have a Tiger King, and
Yes.
you should
Okay.
look
So let's
at
talk
it.
about some of the other hot 2020 Halloween costumes. There is the sexy TikTok app.
Yeah, I was actually going to guess TikTok app as one of my guesses earlier.
Wait, what do you mean by TikTok app? Well, why can't I? It's
Look
like
at, you see that
let
on
me
the
go to
screen? see the ad. She's an
what?
app.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
That
Is it?
really dumb. That's like not even trying.
Yeah, but that's the thing about Halloween is the older you get, the less you have to try.
Isn't
Mhm.
every? Yeah. Okay. What else, Rob?
Tiger
Yeah.
King was only a few months ago. It seems like
There's
ages.
Tiger
And then,
King, Tyson.
here is I guess I don't really know what they are. Are these
Not even
women
trying.
tigers?
We don't know, but they are tigerish kingy, I guess.
Yeah, I guess they're cool cat and kittens. They call this the coolest cat costume.
Don't love
Yeah.
it.
Next one.
Mm,
Do we have more?
well, let's see.
We can judge.
Let's see. I'm on the website and I'm trying to see if there's anything else that's
Oh.
hot for 2020. Yeah, I think that those are the big ones.
Those are the big ones. That was the they spent all year.
Yeah, I mean,
90.
yeah. What about sexy Zoom meeting?
Yeah, what about
Yeah, that one seems like a no-brainer.
that does
Mhm.
or The Last Dance?
Oh, like a sexy Michael Jordan.
Mm-hmm. A real sexy Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Eh.
This is the website that does all the latest Halloween costumes.
Yeah, plug that
Yeah.
into your home browser, Danny.
The Zoom meeting one is great. Is that your own, Rob?
Yeah, I just made that up.
Dude,
You like that one?
WB in the chat said sexy Carol Baskin is just Carol Baskin.
Yeah.
she got
agreed.
eliminated real quick from
So,
dancing.
Yeah, I mean, what are people doing for Halloween? Are people going to a lot of Halloween parties, in
No.
Florida?
You'll have to zoom in to a party.
Yeah,
if you like.
a Zoom Halloween party. So that would be
Yep.
very confusing. If
Are
you
you
had
are your kids going trick or treating, Danny? What's going on?
I've heard rumors that it's going to be outlawed.
Mhm.
And if it's not, don't forget, hospital will X-ray all your candy for free to give it that
That's
extra
the
X-ray
last
flavor.
place I ever want to go. The hospital doesn't do it. Isn't it the police who do it for free?
I don't know. Do you remember that service?
I do remember that, but I think it was the police were willing to do it for free.
You take your bag of candy and they inject it with X-rays, and then you eat all that radiation.
That's
Delicious.
why you wouldn't take Subway bread. Super easy to hide needles and razor blades in Subway bread that's handed out in Halloween.
Everybody tried
Yeah,
to
only
discard their
steal
needles or razor blades.
Subway bread. Okay, so there won't be any coronavirus Halloween costumes this year for 2020. At least not through the major Halloween costume manufacturers. I'm sure some people will have their own, but Tyson, will you commemorate 2020 and the coronavirus in your holiday ornament collection?
I honestly don't do any of that. But if Bergen or Marlowe choose that out as their yearly ornament, because that's I guess a tradition we're starting, is amassing a huge collection of ornaments for
a lot
every
of people
year.
do that. Yeah,
They do.
Yeah,
it's
pretty common.
I didn't do it growing up, so it's not common to me. And maybe they'll choose that. I don't know.
Okay.
It just depends on what attracts their eye at the Hallmark store.
Yeah. Well, there is a site called Old World Christmas. I guess they are the yandy.com of the holiday season. And they have started bringing in some 2020 COVID themed Christmas ornaments. If you want to get your order in now, we have Santa Claus with a face mask.
Come on. I mean, you don't want to see another face mask. Just wear a mask that doesn't have a face mask. Maybe that's the costume. You got the face mask underneath, and you wear a normal you face on top.
Not for anything, Santa has been socially distancing all year. He's at the North Pole. Santa is protecting himself from you with that face mask.
Yeah,
that's true.
For sure. That's fine, right? Yeah. And it's only $22.
Yes. Okay.
But it's not Hallmark, and we all know that that's where you go to
if that's
wrestle with old people for 2019.
Why would you want this to remind you of 2020?
Okay. Well, how about this, Danny?
All of
what about the tiny bottle of hand sanitizer for the Christmas tree?
Is there actual hand sanitizer in there?
I don't think so.
Okay, well then worthless. Get rid of it. I don't want that hanging on my tree. I've already got that in my car, in my office, everywhere I go, I see it.
Right. Also, I believe that actual.
But don't you just want to turn 2020 into kind of a joke? Like it seems like all these companies are trying to figure out where the line is, where they can
more
be
time
like,
has to pass.
Yeah.
We're insensitive, but is it too insensitive?
I think that the hand sanitizer is flammable, which if you have a real Christmas tree, I think that could be a.
Is that real hand sanitizer?
I don't believe so. I think it would be $40 if it was real hand sanitizer.
Next.
Okay. All right. How about this? Remember when everybody stocked up on the toilet paper?
That was insane.
That was insane.
The craziest moment.
When you think back on it, like I went to the grocery store like a month after the first initial toilet paper craze. And there was a dude when they were finally limiting people to only being able to buy one packet of toilet paper. And he had snuck back in and circled his way into the grocery store like 4 times to buy toilet paper. And finally the store was like, somebody recognized him, was like, hey, everybody, this guy, he's already been in here, bought his toilet paper for the day. Nobody's selling toilet paper. And I was
That's
like,
a scared shopper.
Crazy.
Meaning these uncertain times, it's the one thing he could control was the toilet paper purchasing. He needed to control one aspect of his life. That was it.
All right. So those are some holiday ornaments, Danny.
Oh, that's it? We've reached the bottom.
That's all of
them?
them?
I'm on their website now. They do have the postal service truck.
Oh my gosh.
Very hot.
Just like, come on. We don't need to be reminded of these things.
Yeah. I did see like the doctors scrubs. They also have that for our doctors and nurses.
Okay.
Christmas is all about what? Mirth and merry. Is mirth a word? I feel
I
like
think you're
it
thinking
is.
of frankincense. Are you thinking of
No,
frankincense?
no, mirth. I'm pretty sure mirth is a word.
Myrrh. Frankincense,
Yeah,
myrrh.
myrrh.
No,
Myrrh.
looking
And
it up.
gold.
Anyway,
Gold, frankincense, and myrrh.
mirth, amusement, especially as expressed in laughter. So that's, I mean, lightheartedness.
Yeah,
and
people do
happiness.
consider me quite
Well,
mirthy.
Yeah.
So the
Yes.
problem is you hang these things on your tree.
Uh-huh.
And what? You're reminding yourself that's not going to make everybody lighthearted. It's just going to be like, oh yeah, dude.
So
Well,
you're
yeah,
saying
it was kind of a down
sweep-
year.
Yeah, you're saying sweep reality under the rug on Christmas
For
Day.
one day, what's so wrong with that? That's why people drink.
Not you.
Not me, but I've always assumed that's why people drink. And if you're going to drink and be around Christmas time, you might as well load your tree with happy things rather than all these reminders of how terrible the year was.
Okay.
Look, that's my opinion. Your kids are going to be like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad. And then they're going to look up the tree filled with toilet paper ornaments.
The idea is that next year, when things are happier, potentially, that you look back and say, like, oh my, like what we really appreciate this year, 2027. At least we're not masked up with toilet paper and hand sanitizer.
I just rewatched Total Recall. I feel like we all want to go in and get recalled on this year. Like, just erase it.
Okay.
It's got a bad taste in your mouth.
Well, look,
I mean,
it wasn't all bad news in 2020. Let me tell you
News
about.
AF has been one of the few shiny objects of 2020.
So, Danny, listen to
Yes.
this, okay? It wasn't all bad times for everybody because a new study shows that 1 in 4 singles
Mhm.
who had sex
I thought you
during
said more meant
lockdown.
$1 bills.
Okay. So we polled all of the single people
Mhm.
who had sex during the lockdown.
Yeah.
So I don't know how many people exactly this is. This might be a small sample size. So of the single people who had sex during the lockdown, it turns out that this study, which was done by online dating company Match.com, found out that 25% of those singles had sex with a non-romantic roommate.
This is like people copulating in the bomb shelters. It's
Yeah.
like end times, just get it out of the way. Doesn't
Mhm.
matter who it's with. This isn't happy. This is a sad
No?
story. No, there's no love or joy involved with this. This is just a sense of doom. Just get it off. Let it all end.
Get it off.
I'm just saying, this doesn't sound like, first of all, with,
This was before people were dressing as sexy mail-in ballots.
plus with your
Wow.
roommate. How awkward did things
Yeah.
become afterwards?
Non-romantic roommate. Boy,
Yes. No.
I want
No, this doesn't work because Danny, list who your non-romantic roommates are.
Go on.
Yeah.
My non-romantic. What, currently?
No. Anyways, is it non-romantic on both sides? Did they ask both parties?
So you think there's a lot of living
Oh,
situations
that's a
where
good
one
point.
person has a crush on the other person?
Yeah.
Oh,
and the
yeah.
other one's like, did it, and the other one's like, I
So
can't
many
believe I did that.
movies have taught
Yeah.
me that that's how
Mhm.
non-romantic.
Yeah, that's
roommates
most
are.
relationships.
Yeah, that's all relationships.
yeah.
And so I think that you
One
gotta,
person likes the other person more.
yeah, you got to delve into it. And
Yeah.
if both answer that they were non-romantic, that's when you chalk that up to non-romantic. Otherwise, it either cancels itself out or it counts as a romantic.
Yeah. So 71% of the people that they surveyed did not have any sex during lockdown. And of the people that did, 45% were sleeping with people that they were not quarantining with. Unsafe sex.
So many stories about what people did and did not do during the pandemic. A lot of light being shined onto the,
Mhm.
spirit of man.
Yeah.
Desperation, what they'll do in times like these.
Mm.
Yeah. So
But interesting, I thought.
I think it's interesting, but I'm kind of with Tyson, and I think even Rob agreed. I think that some of these people were pretty stoked that the pandemic led to this. Something they couldn't move along, this relationship.
Oh,
They
for
had a hard
sure.
time. They had a hard time doing this, and the pandemic came along and just the final nudge.
Yeah, the girl who's like, hey, you've always been my best friend. We should get an apartment together in LA and save money. And the guy's like, oh, yeah, that sounds cool. And then they get there and he finds out that they are still always just friends.
Yeah.
And then this happens where they have to be locked in, and he's like, "Yeah, this is it." And then
That doesn't sound good. The way you said it is like he sounds kind of like a sleazeball. Like, yeah, we're locked in.
yeah,
No
no, that's
escape
exactly.
now.
Do you imagine it being different?
It's like Misery. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I mean, that's exactly how I pictured it. Was he's just like, "This is my moment." She's eventually going to be sad and depressed and lonely enough, and desperate for some human
Or he.
affection.
Yeah.
Or he.
Let's not
I
forget
guess it
that
could
he
work
be that
both
way.
ways.
Yeah, this
I mean,
study doesn't say
he
how
was-
many same sex roommates this was. How many
girl
male,
to guy,
female?
guy
Yeah.
to girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Yeah,
we
he
don't know who, but I can imagine that. Yeah.
he moved to LA with her. And they
Mhm.
got a job at the same restaurant. He was a busboy. She was a waiter. She got picked up for some commercials. She was moving into big movies. His crush never died. It only grew as she became a bigger and bigger celebrity around town. She had a glow up. He didn't. But he, underneath his rough exterior, he was handsome. But he knew he'd never have a shot. She was just about to move out.
No,
And
she
then-
did move out. She moved out,
Oh.
but then when her acting stopped because of COVID, she couldn't pay the rent, and she invited him to live and help her
Yeah,
pay
she
the
moved
rent.
back. And
Or she moved back, one of the two. Yeah.
Yeah.
And go on.
Oh, you're saying she invited him to live with her in her nice apartment? He couldn't afford that. He was just a busboy. Now he doesn't have a job at all. Now he's unemployed. His parents are sending him money. So he's got nowhere to go. He tries to get her to move back in. She does. And luckily she's so low that it's like just things line up correctly. And finally it happens. But the problem is there's no love there. So it only leads to resentment. And now it's awkward.
And discomfort. Yeah.
And discomfort. He still has to ask her for the check. It's like she's just waiting to move out now. So what he thought would be a glorious moment turned into a life crushing, event.
Life lesson. Yeah.
Danny,
Yeah,
is this
so sad.
autobiographical?
No.
No, because in real life, she wasn't an actor. She was actually working at a multi-level marketing firm in
No.
Utah.
I only had guy roommates for a very short period of time, and that's when I realized that I enjoyed just living alone, which people who lived alone were fine during the pandemic. It was exactly what they were used to.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Let's talk about we're talking about these couplings that happened during the pandemic. Let's talk about a ad that got pulled for being too racy. The St. John's Onion Company had recently had an ad that was flagged for being too sexual. And let me see if I can hopefully have the children leave the room, because
Hopefully it's not blocked everywhere.
Yeah,
There we go.
hopefully this was the Facebook ad that was pulled. This sexy onion ad of the Onion Walla Walla sweet. I guess this was the controversial photo that Facebook said was overtly sexual.
This was an AI that said this was sexual. I can guarantee you a robot saw this and was like,
Yeah, but
oh,
the
dear.
AI has lived enough lifetimes, human lifetimes, to know when something subconsciously is sexual. So this AI is probably looking out for
I
our
see.
greater good, even though we don't know why or how.
Excellent
We are
point.
currently in the back of our minds aroused by this photo, all of us, and we don't know yet that we're aroused. But later in the
AI.
day, when you're
like
at your Subway
subliminally-
sandwich asking for onions and then getting extra onions with more onions, it'll start to make sense and click.
All right, so which is it? So do you feel like that the makers of the ad, did they know that this is a subliminally very
They didn't know either.
sexualized ad?
They didn't know either, dude.
They arranged it like this, and it just felt right.
Yes.
And they didn't know why.
Yeah.
But Tyson's right. The AI, which dives deep into the human psyche, knew. It was like, oh, that's dirty.
Yeah.
That's way dirty.
You're not gonna. Kids should not be allowed to look at this photo.
Hold the onions.
Parents are gonna have a hard time holding their relationships together. Man, It's crazy, and especially when we're spending more and more time on the internet these days. Like,
Yes.
I
Also-
can't even look at that without feeling something.
I had to shut the window. But I didn't know why. But
Yeah, are you
something in the back
crying
of
right
my
now?
mind. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, dude, shut this window right now. Don't let Liz walk in.
Well, during the pandemic also led to a lot more people cooking. Cooking leads to onions. Onions leads to non-romantic roommates having sexual relationships.
100%.
Yeah. Once you get a look at these big bulbous onions in your Facebook newsfeed,
Juicy. They are juicy. Just
You are set
dripping with
off.
that onion juice, you know?
Yeah.
Circles are sexy.
Yeah. Somebody in the chat said there's no onion emoji. And you know what? There's a good reason for that, because
We never know why.
now we do. Phones
Yeah.
are only so liquid proof. And I think, like, you know what I'm saying, Danny?
I think
Yeah.
I do. Like, you might be so shaken up by the image, you drop it into a body of water. Is what I meant. Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah.
So
And
the company that was advertising here is not even an onion company. It is a seed company. Seeds, baby.
yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So the seed company was alerted that they had an overtly sexual image that they had to ban from the site.
Of course they did.
They felt like that the round shapes could be misconstrued as boobs or something nude in some way.
No, not misconstrued.
Jackson
Construed
McLean.
correctly.
Yeah.
The manager.
Yeah. That's
I just
what
construed those circles. in
that's
the
what they
back of
came
my
up
mind.
with. So they have like a 16-year-old kid. So it's not AI at all. There's a 16-year-old kid looking at these, drawing nipples on all of these onions
No,
and being
I
like,
think-
this is nope, we can't look at other people are going to draw nipples on these
So
things
the
if we just let it
picture
go.
gets flagged, right? And the next thing that happens is that picture is sent to a 13-year-old. And if they laugh, then
Yeah.
the picture is censored. That's how it
Yeah.
works.
Is that what it is? By the way, the guy who is running the Facebook account, he's holding up the seeds as he's
Yeah.
being interviewed. Looks a little like Aris.
Yeah, he does. I like it. Faith in the chat said it's not the bulbous shapes of the onions, it's the crevices. Trust me. To go back to the image and take a deeper look at the crevices.
One
and see if that,
more look. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it could be both. Maybe the combination of the curves and the
I
crevices.
like it all.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. I need extra onion on everything right now.
Yeah. Get some extra.
Don't
onions on your
quarantine me with
Subway
those
cake.
onions.
Yeah.
Yeah. If those onions want to just have a platonic relationship and be my roommate, it's gonna go wrong at some point, you know?
Yeah, they better hope there's no lockdown.
Okay. All right. Hide the onions. Have we talked about fecal transplants before?
I think we have, yeah.
Yeah.
In private conversation, never
Yes.
on the podcast.
Yeah.
Well, it's becoming more and more talked about that a fecal transplant is something that this article is saying could be the fountain of youth. It could turn back the clock on aging, not just for your gut, but for your brain.
Maybe I saw it on Curb Your Enthusiasm. Maybe that's how I thought we talked about it, because I
Did they talk
Danny-
about a fecal transplant on Curb Your Enthusiasm?
Yeah. The one guy's wife that hates the other guy
Yes.
got a fecal transplant and was feeling fantastic. So then she was giving fecal matter to all her friends, and they all started feeling fantastic. And then they all started feeling really shitty.
Oh my god!
I was gonna say my kids have fecal transplanted. I'm sure
On their-
tons of it.
Yeah,
To my
all
French
over.
fries, all the things they touch when I'm not looking, and I tell them not to touch constantly
Yeah.
because their hands are always sticky. But it happens all the time.
Okay, well, what this is taking stool from a healthy person and placing it into the colon of someone else. Usually, the recipient is someone who is sick and could have a bacterial infection, but they're saying that there is also some sort of a link between your gut and your brain, and that people who have received the fecal transplant claim to have improved clarity.
Here's the problem.
No, it wasn't Curb Your Enthusiasm. It was South Park. That's right.
Okay.
So here's the problem with this test. I read about this, and the thing I never understand with these studies is they do this with mice, right?
Mice. Yes.
And so they give the old mice, young mice, poop, and they're how do you know that the older mice are they running the maze a little bit faster? Are they? I mean, like what? In the article I read, it didn't tell me how they knew that the older mice had suddenly became younger mentally.
So
And then
what
were
they're
mice-
saying is that the team finds that there are alterations in the protein which has ties to neurotransmission, and those are also changes in the cells of the hippocampus.
Okay,
That's the area
again.
that forms new memories.
Of course.
So it's all active, and they're assuming that this will just transfer straight across.
I think that
There was so much
logically,
advice.
for me, it does make sense if you have poor gut health and need some biomes introduced to your system that other fecals may have. Then yeah, I can kind of like if a scientist explained it to me, I'm sure I would be like, that does sound good. Give me 5. Give me 5 fecal transplants right now.
Would you be a recipient? I feel like that you're young and virile enough to be a stool donor. No.
Yeah, I mean, how much money am I getting to donate my stool?
I don't think Tyson's young enough for young stool.
Oh, Danny.
I'm sorry, but I just don't think so. I think you want someone in their 20s, just like
but don't you want somebody that looks young? Like, wouldn't you rather have like, oh, look at Tyson only looks like he looks like he's 40. I'm 41. Surprise. Yeah. And
Tyson's
then
verified on a number of platforms.
Lots
I don't know
of
if that blue check mark makes a difference when it comes to stool transfer.
You don't think I'm verified on Facebook? I am.
I'm not questioning your verification. I'm just saying I don't know how much of that plays a part.
It's got to mean something. Like, imagine you go, Danny, let's say you go to a sperm bank and you're like, how many of these donors are verified? 0. Well, maybe I'll look somewhere else. I'll shop around.
I probably would. I'd be like, only blue checks. And that would be kind of nice if like next to the
That's what I'm saying, dude. You get blue check poop, dude. And I'm getting quadruple the price to donate it.
I still think though it has more to do with youth than blue checks. I'm going to go for the blue check 20-year-old.
Really? Mm-hmm. But yeah, would you rather go with somebody whose mind is so sharp as a tack that I can respond to any comment made without even hardly a second to waste?
Well, I think I'm going with young poo
rather than mental agility.
Yeah, I'm just going to go. Well, I think we talked that same scientist you talked to earlier who explained it.
So some country bumpkin who somehow figured out how to be a lawyer in Kentucky. You're going to take that poop over my poop.
Yeah, because who knows what his young fecal will unlock in my own brain. It's all about unlocking things.
It's not about youth. It's about health. What if
you're not getting their? You're not getting their stuff. You're just using their poo to unlock your brain.
Healthy.
Well, we're assuming all the donations are from healthy people, like not sick.
Are you? Is that now what you're assuming?
No, you're talking about. No, I'm fine as long as it's young because I just want that young, healthy gut has to unlock my brain. Not necessarily, they're not transferring stuff from their brain into my brain. I want their gut to unlock my brain.
Do you also get that person's memories that you got the stool sample from?
You get their memories, but only of what happened to their butt.
Only. Oh, see, those might be private memories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Speaking of things that could potentially happen to your butt, Danny, Mountain Dew is working on a new hot sauce.
Oh, I was at Target and they had this mysterious Halloween Mountain Dew. And I was like, I like all things Dew for the most part. So I bought it. It was a clear, kind of like a Pepsi Clear. And so disappointed. It was disgusting. So it kind of took me off of like Mountain Dew's branching into other things, which goes back to this hot sauce. Just because it's got the Dew label doesn't mean that it's totally awesome.
Doesn't mean you're going to be able to do extreme sports out immediately after you.
And I'm pretty sure Mountain Dew is stripping my gut of those precious bacterias that I need.
Yeah, you might need
sharp. I'm going to need a transplant.
Yeah,
soon.
Okay, so habanero is the newest flavor of Mountain Dew. Dew hot sauce.
Oh, it's hot sauce. It's not a drink.
Oh. Yeah,
I apologize. It's not habanero flavored Mountain Dew.
Okay,
it's Mountain Dew flavored hot sauce.
Gross.
Danny would try that.
I would try it, but it's going to be gross. The best form.
But I would rather have a habanero flavored Mountain Dew beverage. little kick to
Maybe.
it, like a ginger beer with a little like.
I had some energy drink the other day that had jalapeno in it, and it was not good. It was so gross.
Mm-hmm.
So just because it's got habanero in it, I don't know if that makes it.
You're
better.
drinking energy drinks too now? Like you're a Monster guy? You have a Monster sticker on your vehicle?
Oh, several. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's who I am now. I'm a Chad or whatever the guy is who drinks Monster. Kevin. I can't remember.
Yeah, whoever.
Yeah. So I don't think that just put in habanero. Sometimes these companies, and we've discussed this endlessly over the last couple of years, that they think that anything they go into will be a golden ticket idea. And that's not the case.
It's not like David Klein. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question, Tyson.
Yes.
As a pickleball influencer, on
number one pickleball influencer of all time.
So
Okay.
it looks like on these different cans of Mountain Dew, I can't make out who they are, but it looks like that there are athletes who are endorsing Mountain Dew. Would you ever consider either consuming Mountain Dew prior to or during athletic competitions?
Don't let me down, Tyson.
I honestly, and there's maybe no science to this whatsoever, but I don't feel like carbonated sugar sodas are good necessarily for pre or post game. I would say post game probably a little bit better, or even like maybe during an event, like if you're running a marathon, maybe get a little caffeine boost there for a second. But if you can steer clear of those completely, I feel like you're probably
Would
better
you
off.
allow them to put your face on the can, though?
Hell yeah, I would.
Okay, so just throw all of that out the window because
definitely one of the best. One of the best drinks you can have pre, during, or post is Mountain Dew. And as the number one pickleball influencer, I will have my team reach out to Mountain Dew, get in touch with them, let them know that's how I've always felt.
Yeah,
and get
So
my
smart,
face on a
Tyson.
can. Yeah.
Okay. Danny, will you consider being a sexy Mountain Dew can for Halloween this year?
Or an unsexy one. It doesn't matter. You take your pick.
Yeah. Okay. Sign me up. Where's the suit? What does it look like?
Just a big can with
It's got to be tight,
nipple holes cut
super
out.
tight.
Yeah. I think I found a Mountain Dew costume, but not sexy Mountain Dew.
You're not going to
costume.
find. It's not in the news enough. You know, it's got to make the news, and then someone's got to be like, "How can I sexify a Mountain Dew?"
Yeah. Okay. Danny, are you ready to take us to your bolt haul?
Yeah, and it's very related to what we were just talking about earlier.
Okay.
Yes,
sounds good. All right. Let's go ahead and bring you the highly anticipated Danny's bolt haul segment.
Welcome to my bolt hole. I think you're gonna like it. I think you're gonna feel you belong. A nocturnally mission.
Yeah.
Guys, great book. I read a great book a while ago called Packing for Mars.
I thought you were going to say Harry
Packing
Potter.
for Mars.
It's about the difficulty of actually getting to the red planet and some of the small things we don't take into consideration when we think about space travel.
Yep.
And it had a whole chapter on pooing in space, which goes back to
I think people think about that a lot.
Yeah, that's one of the number one things I think about.
No, the pooing in space is a hard thing from the very beginning. And they're still working on it. And they just barely sent to the space station. I think they received it today, a $23 million toilet. And you should look at this contraption. First of all, $23 million.
Suction butts.
So they use suction.
Mm-hmm.
And they've tried all sorts of things. Like once it was just an adhesive you'd poo onto, and then you'd put it in a bag, and then
an adhesive.
like
an adhesive,
like a mousetrap, like an adhesive mousetrap.
Yeah. And that was in the early days. And then you had to put in a mixture so that the gases wouldn't make the bag expand and explode inside the space capsule, and because that could be a real problem. So it was a nightmare. It was just you and another guy orbiting the Earth in a tight capsule, and he's got his pants down, right there next to your head, trying to poo onto an adhesive.
Mhm.
Well, they've advanced it, and they've gone all the way to this new $23 million toilet, which is better suited for women, which makes sense because women, in a lot of ways, make better astronauts. They don't take up as much space, as much resource, as much oxygen. And so if you look at this thing, though, it's the stuff of nightmares. Like if you can try and find a link
let me
to the
see.
picture,
Yeah.
and imagine trying to relax.
NASA, new NASA toilet,
Yeah.
or is
Danny,
it SpaceX?
I heard the only
Universal Waste Management System, NASA's new space toilet.
I heard the only reason that it costs so much is because they had to figure out how to time the artificial plop sound with the actual release of poop from your butt, and it was like impossible to figure out an algorithm.
Yeah. There is a lot of stuff like that
Where
when
it's
it
just like
comes
plop.
to new technology.
Uh-huh.
So Danny, I see this gentleman, and he is holding a hose. Can I ask you? Have you done the research? Where does this hose go?
So they have, if you look at the article I'm looking at, the hose that he is holding in the picture, I don't really see it, but there's a lot of suction. And in the book that I read, astronauts train on Earth to accurately poo into the toilet. There's a camera that looks back at your beehole and makes sure that you are aiming correctly. Because if you miss, the stuff that comes out of that toilet floats around the space capsule. So accuracy is demanded. The astronauts train, or at least used to train, on a practice toilet. The other crazy thing is that this toilet had to be tested, like everything that goes to space, on one of those vomit comets, the airplanes that fly up and do 0G. And so some guy, to certify this toilet to go to the space station, there was some dude, some laboratory assistant, who had to poo in front of a bunch of people on the vomit comet while they took notes, and then he took a note. And the whole process is fascinating.
So do you think all those engineers standing around that toilet have all taken a turn on this poop mechanism?
I would like to think so, because if you're designing something for someone in space,
I bet they haven't.
You need to have an intimate knowledge of what it is you're sending up there. And for $23 million, it needs to be perfect.
Yeah.
This is a big deal, though. A brand new toilet, $23 million.
I already figured it out, dude. This is what you do. You are in this little capsule that's spinning you centrifugally, and you just poop, and the poop just goes to the outside walls of the centrifuge and then gets captured that way. As long as you can poop while you're spinning at dizzying speeds inside a room, strapped into the middle center of the room.
So what you're saying is they should just have a separate section of the ISS that has gravity, like a giant rotating drum. And that's where the toilet should be, to simplify everything.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds like a great idea. I don't know why they haven't done the rotating drum. It must be terribly complicated and expensive. Cheaper to set up a $23 million toilet than to try to figure out how to build the rotating drum that gives you gravity.
No, but it doesn't have to give you gravity. It can just centrifugally kick everything to the outside. Yeah, because it's spinning so fast. So like a porta potty that is spinning, and you have like this thing that holds you in the middle, so you're not touching the walls anywhere. And then as you go, it just kicks it straight to the outside, sucks it through the vacuum holes of the wall. And then you step out, close the door, and it starts the cleaning process.
This is starting to sound way more complicated than just a giant titanium.
I could do it for less than 23 million. That's for goddamn sure.
Remember, you have to test it in the 0G plane. So that, that's expensive. There's a lot of research here, Tyson, you need to do.
Can I also add that I like that, Danny, you're the $23 million NASA toilet guy, but also I get rid of the post office, and I don't want to ever get any more mail. It's a waste of money.
I am all for the space program. I think space is fascinating, just like this toilet. I do. But you should read, if nothing else, at least the chapter on toilets in space, because it'll blow your mind and it'll make you appreciate how easy it is to use them down here.
Why don't you just put one of those electronic cow milkers on your front and your back as it?
I don't see. I think about that. I don't know how much suction.
Right out.
Yeah, that's what I would worry about. I don't know how much suction is involved in this, but it's probably not enough to do to you what the toilet did to that mom on South Park. And so this is probably a gentle suction that's well timed, and maybe you nurse the suction along as it's coming out, which would be nice, little assist on getting it out. But the whole idea is kind of terrifying to me.
Or why don't they
Yes.
just build the Dune suit where you wear the suit that then you poop into, that then extracts the liquid from the poop, and then you can drink it through a straw.
That
as
could
it's
very
been
much be the
repurified.
future, Tyson. That could
Okay.
very much be the future, but we're not there yet. Right now, we're at $23 million titanium toilets, and probably
Why does that have to be titanium?
well?
Why not stainless steel?
Well, it costs a lot to put anything into space, and every pound matters. So I'm assuming
titanium
that
is
they want it
lighter,
to be
yeah.
light. Yeah.
Yeah. And it can't be ceramic.
Oh,
that
they
might-
say this. They say it was a corrosion issue as well.
Okay.
Something corrosive happened. So there you go.
just even to stainless steel.
I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I didn't build this thing, but I did read that was part of it. Acid from the urine. So titanium and other tough alloys were chosen for the new toilet to withstand the acid in the urine.
Why don't the astronauts just eat and consume exactly the amount they need so that their body never has to poop or pee?
I know. How cool would that be if that was actually a thing?
Oh, dude. Sew your butthole right up. Never have to use it again.
No. You would never do that, dude. Because what if you have like a Thanksgiving feast?
Yeah, but
Or,
somebody
like,
would do
all
it just to
together
be like,
mukbanging.
it can be done. Like, you don't think like one of these,
Yeah, what about that kindergarten teacher?
this blogger, some Instagram blogger is coming out and being like, I did this, and it's
If breatharians are getting so much from the universe, they should be able to do it.
okay.
Maybe they should be the first astronaut
They should,
That's what I'm saying.
to go to Mars.
because they
So
are.
we should- dude, can you imagine lying about being a breatharian and then NASA calls you as like you have to go. The government has allowed us to force you to be astronauts because you don't need toilets. And they'd be like, what have I done?
Or food.
Yeah,
It
or
would be
food.
great. They say
What
they
have I
absorb
done?
cosmic energy, so it's
They're
like
probably closer to the cosmos
Yeah.
out there, huh?
we're
Yeah.
putting you closer to
feast
where
for
you're
you.
getting a nice space feast.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah,
All right.
it's incredible.
By the way, how many of the non-romantic roommates that hooked up during the lockdown, how many times did that take place in TikTok collab houses?
Constantly.
It
Was
was
that
like
the majority of people that
Yeah,
they
that's the
surveyed?
majority. That's all the people they surveyed.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Those are the only people that are super stoked about bragging about hooking up with
non-romantic hookups with onions.
with someone they were in love with. Yeah, exactly. With a bowl of onions they were in love with.
Yeah. All right, Danny, what's coming up for you this week?
I'd like to say I'm going to travel, but I still don't know, even though I'm supposed to leave tomorrow. So
Where are you traveling?
up to the Tetons, do some climbing, but it is not a sure thing.
Yeah.
But I gotta crank out that content.
You sure do, dude. I didn't realize that you have so many followers on YouTube. I know I
Yeah.
say that, but it's still this whole week. That's all I thought about.
Like Danny managed to get a handful of people to watch
Yeah.
his videos. Amazing. I thought it was just his mom and brothers and sisters.
I put a video on YouTube 6 to 10 years ago, and I don't even have a fraction of the following you have on there.
Sweet. Well, it's all about pumping out that content. I'm working on a video now. I've got another one in the pipeline, but I'm running out of stuff. I got to get out there and film. Never ends. I mean, that's what Rob does all day, every day. So I'm not gonna
Not all
Content.
day.
10. You're doing it.
He's
You're
got,
out
to.
there.
he's
Right
got
there.
a proverbial NASA toilet sucking content out of every orifice of his body.
Mhm.
Yes, he does.
So it's also today, October 6th, National Noodle Day. Tyson, will you celebrate?
For National Noodle Day,
Yes.
may as well.
Okay.
I'm probably going to get a Subway sandwich with extra onion.
Extra
Yeah.
noodles.
Yeah, why not?
Probably then go to the
Right.
grocery store and buy a bag of onions. I don't even know why, but I just feel like I should. And then we probably have some weird pasta, quinoa pasta or something in our house somewhere.
Is that
I'll
a
try to
noodle?
honor the noodle day with. I'm going to try and eat some noodles tonight.
I'll do some noodles. I'll do ramen. I'm going to make ramen for the girls.
Okay. Boom.
Yep.
There you go. All right. Tyson, what do you have going on this week?
Tomorrow we are going to Boston Rob and myself are going to start the rewatch of Token Cheens.
Okay. Has he ever seen it before?
Yeah, but only when it came out, and I've only seen it when it came out. So it'll maybe I'll hate me by the end of it. Sounds
Nah,
like
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. There's nobody I respect more than myself.
Mhm.
And then we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna do some more Survivor trivia after that. That's all tomorrow, free on Twitch. And then I'm going to play some Among Us. I'm going to stream some Among Us.
Oh yeah, I've been here. It's all I hear about.
You want to play?
When are you
Friday
gonna do
night?
it?
Friday evening.
Friday evening.
Yeah.
What time?
Probably like 5 or 6 start time, I would assume.
5
for
or
a couple
6?
hours.
6. What time zone?
PM. Your time zone.
Okay, I might be able to do that.
Okay, I'll let you know. And that will also be on the Twitch channel. And then I have a bunch of new pickleball gear coming in today that I'm excited to test drive. And then, that's pretty much it. And coming up in a couple minutes, I believe we do have a Big Brother update.
Guys haven't come
Where do
across.
people go to get that Big Brother update?
They just stay listening. I don't know if you guys remember the old Green Day album where if you just listen to the last song of
it just goes on
for
forever?
30 minutes, at the end of that 30 minutes, the secret song came on. But the only way to access that secret song was to either listen or fast forward 30 minutes
secret songs
of blank to the secret song. Yeah. So
Smart.
Danny, what does Tetons mean in French?
Large mounds. Encourage people.
boy.
I don't want to say because the whole onion thing, I don't want to get us blocked on whatever.
That's true. Whatever
Yeah,
platforms we
so-
decide to share this, you're so smart, Danny.
Large onions.
Thank you for thinking of the company.
All right. There you go. All right. Well, lots of fun here back on News AF. We'll be back again with you next Tuesday. Of course, if you see News AF happening, let us know either on Twitter or in our Facebook group on facebook.com/group/group AF. Take care, everybody. Have a good one. Bye.
We did it, guys.